As a state biologist, as Mr. Tomlin said, I started here in Bee County, so I've known some of you for a long time. And as a state biologist, I love that job working for Parks and Wildlife, but I didn't care for the bureaucracy and the handicap of it. I wanted to work 24/7, but they only wanted to pay me for 40 hours a week. So I ended up working for about $2 an hour, and my wife got a little mad about that. I didn't understand it, so I decided to go a different way. And so I retired from Parks and Wildlife. You know, just good passing, parting of the ways. Started my own business called Spring Creek Outdoors. So I'm still doing the wildlife consulting. I'm still doing exactly what I was doing with the state. I'm just self-employed. The unfortunate thing for landowners is now I have to ask you for money because you were getting, quote, a free service from the state, but actually all those Pittman-Robertson taxes that you paid when you buy ammunition and hunting license and camouflage, you were paying for a Parks and Wildlife biologist. You just didn't have to pay for it all at once. So that's the unfortunate thing, but I have to make a living as well. That's the beautiful thing about my job is I work with every landowner is different. Even across the street, I'll be dealing with Mr. Coon later this afternoon. His goals and objectives may be slightly different than John's, but they're neighbors. They're across the street, same dirt, same soil, same trees, but we may do something different across the street than what we're doing right here because it's based on your goals and objectives. So when I say something, it's based on his goals and objectives, and it may not be 100% accurate for, say, Don over there in Berkeley. You know, so we're only 20 miles from Berkeley, but your goals and objectives are always something to keep in mind. So if you ask me about spike bucks, I'm not going to give you a straight answer because there is no answer on shooting spike bucks. The answer is it depends. And that is the correct answer, even though that's the wrong answer. You don't want to hear that, but that is the correct answer. Is it depends on your goals and objectives. Supplemental feeding, it depends. Predator control, it depends. And that's not a political answer. That is the correct, accurate answer because until I learn your goals and objectives and your specific details, then I can give you specific answers. So just keep that in mind. But we're here today, High Fence Ranch, 839 acres, very intensively managed. He runs a pretty moderate deer density of approximately 8 acres per deer. He likes to feed the deer. He likes to grow big deer. It's for friends and family, grandchildren, that kind of stuff. Biggest deer he's ever raised is still walking today. Talking about deer management, you know, versus a deer hunter. The biggest deer he's ever raised is not dead. That's pretty cool. To me, that's a deer manager's heart right there, not a deer hunter. Because a deer hunter wants to go out and kill the biggest deer on the ranch. Not John. He wants to let that deer die of old age, let that deer breed, let that deer spread those good, favorable genetics. And instead, he concentrates on this stuff. Now, these are respectable deer, but not on this ranch. So he's taking out these and he's feeding and raising these for the future generations because it's friends and family, grandkids, that kind of stuff. So again, and he's not selling hunts to Joe Public, so he's, you know, it's not a commercial hunting operation. So just keep that in mind when we're here. But he runs a heavy deer density because he likes to see a lot of deer. He doesn't mind feeding them. He doesn't mind the habitat work. There are some cattle on the ranch, and they stock conservatively. They rotate often, and he watches the cattle. So the cattle can come and go if they impact the deer habitat. So it's deer on this ranch with some, you know, concessions to turkey and quail and dove hunting and that kind of stuff. But this is a deer ranch. Deer are schizophrenic, hypochondriac, nervous animals. So you can't just pull up there in the field and honk them up like cattle and spray them down with a water hose and medicate them and drive off. You could, but you'd kill every one of them, wouldn't you, John? So these deer are special needs, I think is the political word. The white-tailed deer are special needs. So to keep them in captivity in a small space, keep them healthy, keep them well fed, that's a balancing act. They don't want to be confined. They don't want to be kept. They don't want to be handled. But we want to handle them and keep them and feed them. So there's a lot of specialized needs. There's a lot of specialized facilities. And John's got one of the best facilities you'll probably ever lay your eyes on. It's small, it's manageable, but it's extremely effective. I've talked long enough. Let's go outside before it gets too hot.
Okay, we're going to use the